Welcome, gorgeous souls. Welcome back to another episode of Heart and Soul. And we're going to share about self-care today. And I think self-care is such an important topic because for sensitive souls, for empaths, or introverts, we can all feel selfish when we finally look after ourselves. But it's essential. Self-care is essential. If we don't look after ourselves, if we don't take time to recharge, we all end in burnout. Welcome, Janet, to another episode.
Thank you, Caroline. Yes, this one is very important. I mean, some of our other episodes have touched on this, and we thought it was time we actually sort of delved into self-care because as you sort of say, it's so important. And as we're coming into the holiday season, it's even more important. Do you agree, Caroline?
Definitely, because it's the hustle and bustle, and as nurturers, as sensitive souls, we tend to look after everyone else and we always forget ourselves. And sometimes I felt like I'm sort of the peacekeeper, keeping everybody happy or adjusting to whatever they want, I mean, my children, then my family, my mom, my sisters, just bringing everything into those 2-3 days, making it all work, and all the extra activities before the holidays, with band concert, with plays, with going to the Christmas market, with anything, and you try to just fit it in, and it all works splendidly if not just one little cogwheel goes astray and then it all collapses. But it is intense. It's also, the days are short, it's cold, and we need that extra care of looking after ourselves. How do you look after yourself, Janet?
I must admit, Caroline, this is sometimes for me is a challenge because you're exactly right that I get sidetracked with other things, other people, other commitments, and I put myself last. And I have to remember, I get to the point and then I go, oh, no, I start to feel that sort of getting run down, start to feel that overwhelm, all of being aware. I mean, being aware of yourself and understanding what's happening is really important. And then I'll do something like, I'll want to have a nice cup of tea and read a book. Or that for me, that's go to bed early as well, just sort of have time to read my book. Maybe have a nice warm Epsom salt bath, or if you've got some nice sort of like stuff to put in your bath where it smells nice and candles and some nice music is also really relaxing and healing because then I can just let everything go. Um, yeah, those are my go-to for relaxing and taking care of myself. But there is so much more, isn't there? What about you, Caroline? What are your top ones that you would go to?
Yeah, I think probably we are very alike. I mean, I love to snuggle up on the sofa settee, with a nice blanket, with candles, with a good book, and yeah, a hot drink, tea, something, and just be there, and just lie there or sit up, sort of half lying, and even if I doze off, a nap is always something that I hardly allow myself. And that's the thing, is because when you keep running and you keep running and you keep running, then your adrenaline is so high and then you can't sleep. And I realize it, that I'm a bit worn out, is more like I don't sleep so well. And then, of course, the next day you have to push yourself a bit harder to keep running. And taking that time out. So allowing yourself to have a nap or a lie down, a hot bath, exactly, just to just
Yes.
arrive, be in the moment, and truly treasure that time. And yeah, there's always something to do, but our first priority is for ourselves. And I learned that, and it always shows up regularly whenever I feel like, oh, I don't have time or I need to do this. And then I just take a nap because I'm so tired, or don't do anything for half a day because I'm just so low. And I know I need to recharge. And all the things I wanted to do on that day that just felt like, oh, blah. I did them in 10 minutes the next day, full, fresh of energy. And that's the thing, is we always feel we have no time because we need to do other things. We don't have truly the energy, nor the inspiration, nor the joy to do them. And we do them anyway. We push ourselves. But it's not the same, we are more worn out. And if we can take a break, take an in breath and relax and be, and then the very next day, they just, we're so in the flow, we have so much energy, we feel more joy, and then we do those things and we breathe through them, and they have a different kind of energy. And so for everyone who says, I don't have time, I have so much to do, take the time, allow yourself to take an afternoon off or a day off, and be amazed how much more you can do the very next day. It's not like you miss out on anything.
I agree. I mean, funny, I had a weekend back in Northern Ireland with my family this weekend, and we got up at 3 o'clock in the morning to catch an early morning flight. So by the time I got to my parents in the afternoon, I was exhausted. And I have to say, taking the nap, I said, excuse me, I need to go and have a lie down because I just couldn't keep going. And we were then going out with friends that evening. And I just thought, you know what, if I don't, I mean, I just will not be able to do it. And then I'll start to feel run down and feeling, and then I won't enjoy the weekend. So absolutely took that nap, and it did. It made the difference to then being able to catch up and then being able to keep going through the weekend of seeing people and doing lots of things. So yeah, absolutely. And I think as we're coming up, when people are spending more time maybe with family or extended family, I mean, as I say, if you're an introvert and you're feeling that little bit of like, I need a break, it's all too much. I mean, do just excuse yourself and just go out somewhere that you can take a breath or step aside because you need that. You need that. Caroline knows very well, she has the same feeling as well, is that when it's just so much. And if you just sort of go, I mean, when I'm with family, I'm staying there, so it's a little bit harder. So, but I can go up to the bedroom for a few minutes, just decompress a bit, clear my head, and then I can go back again. What about you, Caroline?
I'm laughing because I was hiding on the toilet. Hiding in the bathroom, just those 5-10 minutes to just breathe, to keep the noise out. And yeah, frankly, I did that when my 3 kids were young. And sometimes you just, lock the door, just need your space, your sanity for a minute. And also my oldest son is very introverted. And when we were with family and all the young cousins, and for him it was too much. And then of course when he was younger, the adults talked about things that didn't interest him. And I always said, take a book with you. And then he was happy in grandma's bedroom on the bed, reading, door closed, no one was disturbing him. And that was good. I mean, yeah, especially for children, sometimes it can be overwhelming. I saw it with my kids too. I mean, even if they have fun and everything, they can tire easily. They have a tantrum or they just cry or start fights. So yeah, we all need that little, little break in between. And yes, absolutely, go out for a walk, enjoy something. And you don't need to, because I used to have excuses for, oh, I just need a little bit of fresh air or something. And now I say, I just need time for myself. I'll be back, because we don't need to excuse what we need. If we need time for ourselves or just a bit peace and quiet, why is it so hard to ask for it or mention it? Why do we always have to sort of find an excuse?
Yes. I think that's sort of, yeah, our upbringings, isn't it? Sort of that you don't want to appear rude, but at the same time, when you need that, because I know myself that whenever I sort of in that position, and if you start to stress, and if you get sort of more stressed, you're more likely, to sort of like be like this, and then something can be said that you can then kind of like almost a little bit explode at or whatever, and then it starts to cause issues. So yes, sometimes that little step aside is a really good thing. That is self-care. That is definitely self-care.
Yeah, and during the regular weeks, it's not just before the holidays or the whole family dues, but yeah, we can tire out during a regular week, or feel sometimes when you feel like you're on that hamster wheel, just like, oh, getting up, getting to the office, coming home, doing housework, getting up, all these kind of things. Time to step out and just maybe observe it from a different perspective. What can you change? How can you change your routine? Or even in the office, you can take time out, have lunch outside, or break it up, go to the break room for a bit, or just stand up and walk around, or bring some flowers or something. I think self-care is anything that brings you joy. If you have a beautiful flower on your desk or a plant, or light a candle, and just, I love looking at the light of the candle, at the flame, and a cup of tea. And also it's important that self-care is different every day. We need something different. And sometimes we feel like we have sort of like a protocol. I need a cup of tea then, or this or that. And sometimes it doesn't work. It's not the right thing we need at this moment. So it's important to listen within and ask yourself, what is it that I need? Yeah, sometimes it's a nap. Sometimes it's peace and quiet. Sometimes it's stepping away from situation or person or something, and sometimes it's a walk in nature, or going to a spa for a couple of hours, or booking a massage, or anything that feels right, and yeah, and more important is also that it's always good to ask other people for ideas, but don't let others tell you what you need to do, because you have the answers within and only you know what feels good. It's always good to try things out, but you have sort of that measurement, how recharged am I? Are my batteries low? Am I in the middle? How did the self-care work today? And how are you feeling afterwards? And if we take self-care too seriously, like, I have to have a cup of tea now, it doesn't have the right energy. And or I need to feel good. So now I take 5-minute power break or whatever. So
I agree.
extra gentle. I think self-care is caring, being nurturing, being gentle, being loving with yourself. It's not another to-do thing.
You know, I was just going to say the same thing, because some people say, you know, get your nails done, get your hair done. But you know what? Sometimes those appointments stress me, because, you know, you have to then now, you know, you've made the appointment weeks ago, and then it suddenly comes around, and you suddenly find that you're really not wanting to go, but you have to go. And then you've got to drive somewhere, and then the parking, and then I don't relax and enjoy it. I find it actually
More stressful.
more stressful. So you know, I would be quite happy if it kind of could wake up and go, oh, today I want to go get my hair done. I could go, but you can't. It doesn't work like that. You have to book in advance, and it's like sometimes it's just like by the time it comes round, I am no, it's not. Sometimes it is, and then sometimes it's not. And I don't do the whole sort of manicure and pedicure stuff, because I know that stresses me. I do it occasionally, but it's not something I do on a regular basis. But for some people, you know, that is exactly, and the massage side of things, that's exactly what they need. So it is awareness for yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I so agree with you. If I sometimes have 3 things on that day, but you know, nicely spaced, it's already too much. And I think we all know our threshold, or need to learn about our threshold and what is stressing, and having 3 appointments and driving and back, it can be too much. But sometimes, you know, I love to go to a spa with sauna and steam bath and maybe hammam or something, a whirlpool, you know, things like these where you can just,
Yes.
if there are not too many people, you know, sort of like a private spa. But this is good. And for me, I started that, yeah, over 10 years ago, and found a place that wasn't too crowded. And I always took sort of a little journal with me and a pen, because in that quiet time, you know, after a sauna, and then you rest, and then really great inspiration came through. And then it's in those quiet moments when you have nothing to do, because when you're at home, then it's dishwasher, this. But if you're sort of away, sometimes that helps to just come back into a more calming presence, you know. And yeah, but often it's the small things, like a walk, going to the park, or you have a beautiful beach, you just can go, you know, vitamin C. And yeah, it's the little things, and then spread out through the day, that truly help us to feel good about ourselves.
Exactly. And I think right at the start, you mentioned something that I think a lot of us feel, is that making time for ourselves, for self-care, for that sort of just stepping aside, is being selfish. But it's not. It's completely, you're being thoughtful for everyone else, because if you take care of yourself and you're in a good place, then that radiates out for everyone else. Whereas when you're totally stressed, you're burnt out, I mean, you just don't have anything to give anymore. And that's why that daily self-care is so important, that you're topping up your energy, that you're keeping in a good place, that then you can still, you know, help other people and support other people, because you're in a good place.
And then it comes from the heart, and not as, oh, I have to do this kind of thing because it's just expected, or that's what I feel I need to do, but rather than you love to do it and feel good about giving. And and you have more patience with yourself and others. And like you said, otherwise you're always on a short fuse. That's what
Yeah,
happened to me. It's sort of like, ooh. And
that's why
sometimes
sleep's important.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, for that reason.
definitely. And also I had, especially before the holidays, it's all sort of okay. And then one thing came, like a child had to bring in some cookies for something. And that was that literal drop that sort of made it all overflow. And I was like, oh, it was just cookies, but I wasn't, I just can't handle this. It's just too much. And so keep that barrel low so it doesn't sort of overflow at one little thing. And and I think it's also, self-care is also adjusting and prioritizing each day. Like you said, if you have those appointments and you don't feel good about it, 24, 48 hours cancellation, use that. You don't have to go there, and prioritize and look at it. What are you doing each day? Is it necessary? Is it helpful? Is it something you love to do? And see where you can create some space for yourself, breathing space. And sometimes we just do things not realizing we're doing it, or and that it wears us down. So maybe even having a little tracker each day with whatever you're doing and how you feel afterwards, sort of like, oh, I did this, or I met this friend and then I felt exhausted. And if you sort of track that over a couple of days, weeks, you will realize what is really wearing you down and what is uplifting you.
Absolutely. I mean, tracking your energy level, as Caroline says, the things that deplete you and the things that sort of boost you. So that, if you have, like me, a hair appointment and that particular day I'm feeling right, and I sort of need to go because then my hair needs to be done, but then maybe balance it by then doing something to replenish the energy. So you just, fundamentally you have to know yourself. You have to become aware, and as Caroline says, tracking that. I have a little 7-day tracker. I'll share the link for that so you can download that, just to get to know yourself and what's good for you. What's good for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because sometimes we are not aware. At the end of the day, we just feel exhausted, depleted, and we can't pinpoint what it was. Sometimes it's just a culmination of it all, but sometimes it was something specific. And it's always good to be aware, because then you can change your life for the better.
Exactly.
Any more insights on self-care other than it's truly essential and you do it for yourself and not against someone else? It's for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, meditation, if that's something you like. And when I say meditation, it can be just something like if you play an instrument, you might just want to take time. If you enjoy that, something that's mindful, even if you like, I enjoy baking. So that I find therapeutic when I get organized and I do that, because it's creative as well, and it pleases me. So anything that makes you feel good is self-care. Because I think a lot of people feel, oh, it's, as you sort of say, it's certain things, but it's actually about sort of just replenishing your energy and feel good. So anything that you enjoy doing.
Yeah, and play with it. Try things out. Try out new things. I think that's also about that. Yeah, be playful.
Exactly. Make it fun.
Definitely. And every day
every
Small
day.
doses help more than just one weekend away, because by Wednesday you'll be tired again. So thank you so much for your insights, Janet. It's always lovely to chat. And I feel like I had a self-care time with you today. It's always good.
Love it. Exactly. Yeah. It always makes me feel good too, Caroline. Love it.
So yes, meeting a great friend, whether online or in real life, can truly help you. Someone you can chat with, have a virtual coffee with, someone that understands you and is there for you, listens to you without giving too much. Do this advice, So that's also very nurturing for your heart and your soul.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you again in a week. If you have any questions or insights, share with us what you love to do for self-care. Maybe someone else gets then insights and feels, oh yeah, that's great.
Yes, absolutely. Share your tips with us as well. Lovely. Love and light blessings.
Thank you.